I said earlier on that we have three things that we want to do from bottom. We either want to sweep, submit, or stand up. So we looked at the sweep, which was the scissor sweep. The stand-up part was taken care of once he postured up and stood on his hips. Then we could do the up kick game and the open guard game to get back with a technical stand-up. Let's now look at the submission. So we're going to attack submission from the collar and overhook position. We're going to go to the beginning of a triangle. The next video will have the finish of the triangle and other options from that position. But for now, we're going to get to the beginnings of a triangle grip. Right? So this is what it looks like. So the important detail is just over on this side here, right? So I have collar and overhook here, and this elbow, which was tracking his shoulder to stop him from punching me, what I'm now going to do with it is I'm going to use it like a shoehorn. I'm going to get my elbow in there, I'm going to raise his shoulder up, and I'm going to shove my shin in front of it. Okay, you'll notice that I stood on his hip to do that. Okay, so one more time. I use my elbow to raise him up, and I stick my shin in front of his shoulder. Now, of course, that's not going to hold him in position. He can still punch me there, because like his arm is free to lift up and roll over my knee. Yeah, so I've only done half a job here. How to lock it in position, I go from the collar to the back of the elbow, like this, and my hand is pulling in this direction. So I'm pulling this way, and my knee is pushing that way. And between the immovable object and the unstoppable force, his arm is trapped. So now punch me. So now that arm is trapped. I need to create more space. So this is step number one. Step number two, I'm going to use the glute bridge that we do in our strength and conditioning section. So I'm going to raise my hips up, and I'm going to let this grip slip from here to the wrist. So I go from here to there, and then I extend my hip away. It's important that I keep his arm under tension. So I'm still pulling here, and I'm still pushing there. So his arm is still trapped. So punch me with your left arm. His left arm is trapped. Punch me with your right arm. His right arm is trapped. He's stuck here, and I'm still safe. Okay? That's step two. So just one more time through 1 and 2. So step number 1 was to create enough space to get your shin in and trap to the first part. Step number 2, slip to the wrist, extend your hip, and create more space. Okay, final step of this position. Now I'm going to move everything in the opposite direction. So I'm going to bring my knee to my chest, but at the same time I'm going to push his hand away. Push his hand away, knee to my chest. And now look, my foot will clear this space here. Now bring it over his shoulder and cross my legs together. Right, so just watch that last piece again. So there's the hip extension. I'm going to bring my knee to my chest and push his hand away at the same time. And that's what creates enough space for this to happen. Once I have my ankles crossed here, it's like I've got closed guard, but on half of his body, or like the top left of his body. If he tries to punch me with this hand, I've got to extend, like, see how what I'm doing with my hips? I'm just kind of pushing him off to the side here. So punch me with that hand. So I'm controlling him now with my hips. And now I can strike from here. Like, this alone is a very valuable position from the bottom position. You are now winning on bottom with ground and pound from the bottom. So you can hammer fist here. If it was professional, you could elbow, you could elbow from here, right? You could do all of this stuff, right? So this is a very, very valuable position. But how we got there was even more important. So collar and overhook. Step 1, get to the shin. Right, I'm standing on his hip here as well. You can see that, right? Just standing on his hip. Step number 2, extend with the glute bridge. Still creating space. Step number 3, push the wrist, pull the knee, get up over the shoulder, lock it in. And now make sure you're loading him with your hips. So if he tries to barrel in and bully you, just extend your hips. Just like this. Okay?